Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be going over editing your classroom modules. So, now I have these classroom navigation, and I just went ahead and added this. If you want to know how to do that, I would suggest you watch the editing classroom navigation video, um, and I'll accommodate for that by reordering my videos um, if you're unfamiliar. All I really did was go into menus and drag over these modules. It's not really that difficult, but I really suggest you watch the video anyway because it goes a little bit more in depth about what we can do with that menus portion there. So as I mentioned in the first video about editing classroom home pages, we have all these widgets on this right-hand side here that just say, no scope or sequence to display, no post to display, no homework and project to display. So all these are just empty. And with this right on this left-hand side, you could just go in and start changing around what the content is. So again, with the left-hand side, these are modularized widgets. So these are all pulling from different sources. This news one, for example, is pulling from this news module here. So this is the news module for this My Class classroom. You'll see at the top, it goes to /news. So that's just another handy way to get across to different modules throughout your classroom is just add the / and then the module you want to visit. You'll see, for example, with calendar, it goes to /events. For blog, it goes to /blog. And then from here, for news, for example, I can just click create new, give this a title, say first news article. And for the content, I'll just say this is my first news article. Pretty standard. I can give this a thumbnail if I wanted to. A comment notification email. So if somebody places a comment onto this news article, the person specified in this notification email field will be notified about it. Social networking. If I want to place this into my Facebook or something like that. When this is published, so if this is published at a later date, say test scores or something like that, I can say November 7th is when I want this to actually be shown to the public. And archive date as well, if you'd like this to at some point be archived, basically no longer showing, you can go and archive that. But I'm actually just going to click publish now. And then there's that first news article right here. Now on the home page of my classroom, I'm going to refresh. And we have that first news article there. And I can go ahead and change this from, let's say, thumbnail left to post and title layout to say card display. It's one of the unique things about this news widget. Um, don't worry about all this here. Truncate length basically means at some point, let's say 5 characters. So after the first 5 characters, we're going to see an ellipsis after this. This is my first news article. Strip HTML tags, don't worry about that either. Hide posted date, if you'd like to hide this Wednesday, October 31st, 2019, or Thursday, excuse me, Thursday, October 31st, 2019. Hide author link, and just hide that Alex Avila. Hide footer links. Doesn't look like this has any footer links, so don't worry about that. And then enable commenting if you'd like to accept commenting onto these news as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. Okay, so this is a card display. You'll see they're actually placed into these cards now, and this is view all news one as well. So let me go ahead back into this one here, create new, and we'll say second news article. This is my second news article. Now over in the classroom, second news article. So you see it kind of depreciate from left to right. Now let me go ahead and change that back to thumbnail left of post and title so we can see the truncate in action. Okay, so you'll see this and then an ellipsis. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then that space is the fifth character, and then we have an ellipsis. That's because the truncate length is currently set to 5. Let's say 7 so we can get this is in there. This is ellipsis. So they can go ahead and click into that and be taken to that news article there. Okay, so that's the news one. Let's go ahead and close out of this. Next, we can go to podcasts. And podcasts are essentially like audio recordings. If you record some lecture or something like that, go ahead and click Create New. Let's see, first podcast. Let's say, this is my first podcast. And we're actually going to click Media here, where we can upload media. New documents must be saved. So we have to save this document first, and we can choose a media file from our local machine. So essentially, you would record the lecture, and then from your computer, just upload it to this media file section here, and it'll place it in here for people to actually listen to. This is used for like lecture notes, or if you have some sort of audio study guide, or a song for any reason you would have a song, you could just place in that podcast, and here that appears on the podcast widget there. Okay, next we can talk about homework and projects. And this is one of those class-specific um, um, widgets or modules there. So only the classrooms will have this homework and projects one. And here, let's go ahead and add a new subject. We'll say science, save that, and refresh. So now each of these weeks in August, September, October, November, all the way down to essentially July. So basically, it's kind of in order from when school starts to when school finishes, and each week in the month. So now let's just say October 31st, which is today, Halloween. Let's go ahead and update this. Let's say Halloween, or 10/31/2019, Halloween. So theoretically, you would update this and say 10/21/2019, and then what you did in class, and then 10/22/2019, or the assignment in class, 10/23/2019, or you can always say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's say Wednesday you had an activity start due Friday. And this little mini editor that we have here. Okay, so now it says activity start due Friday and 10/31/2019 Halloween. Go ahead and refresh the home page. And in homework and projects, in the month of October on week 1, this is nothing, no homework or projects. Week 3 says Wednesday, activities start due Friday. And week 4 says 10/31/2019, Halloween. Okay, so just, the gist of it is you have to actually go to um, these modules to start populating this. Let me see here. Upcoming events will be the calendar. So adding to your calendar in the settings here, we can go ahead and go down, and you see a tag for a Google Calendar ID, which just if you have a Google Calendar for your classroom, you can just integrate that. Let me go to calendar.google, and let's cancel that. So you go into your calendars, go to settings and sharing, and then towards the bottom, here's that integrate calendar section with calendar ID there. So you just copy that and then paste that into the bottom portion right here, and it'll pull in those the calendar events from your Google Calendar. So that all you really have to update is your Google Calendar there. But you can always just click add on a day. Let's say Halloween, and we'll say please be careful tonight. That's because it's Halloween. So there's that Halloween event. Now on the home page, I'll refresh, and there's Halloween. Now just like the news has card display, events has a unique view as well. List view for sure, and then slide view is the unique view where it places them all on a slider, and it'll just go. Um, let's see, I need to add more actually. So let's go ahead and go to November, And then we'll say Dia de los Muertos. I could be wrong about that, but so let's go ahead and refresh that. It's Halloween, and then Dia de los Muertos. Okay, so it's kind of in a little slider there. Okay, next we have assignments and then scope and sequence. So let's go ahead and talk about scope and sequence first. I have no idea what scope and sequence is for. Um, I imagine it's just for like lecture notes or kind of like a review of what class was about for this particular month. Basically, I assume it's like the layout for the month. I don't know, but you can place just about any text here, like you could with the assignments one or the homework and projects, excuse me, and just say Halloween, and then let's refresh the homepage. And scope and sequence 1031 says Halloween in October. Okay, next we have the assignments module. Let's go to assignments. And assignments is actually really neat in terms of our modules. Let me go ahead and click create new. So as always, we'll give this a title, first assignment. And you can say, let's say, oops, do problems 1 through 10 on page 7. Just a pretty standard. Uh, you can include an image for this, or um, you can include what the problems actually are. Um, However, with this, we can also enable homework upload, which will allow your students to visit this assignment and actually upload their homework and send it to you using this send homework to email here. So you can have this be your actual work email or your personal email. It's your own preference there. You can also set a duration. This is starting on today, and let's say it's due next week. Okay, afterwards you click Publish Now, and there's that My First Assignment. Let's go ahead and go to that. And it says do problems 1 through 10 on page 7. And here they can actually fill out this little form here, this first name, last name, email address, a description, and they can actually upload the Microsoft Word or if they have a PDF or something. And then once they click upload homework, it'll actually be sent to you at this particular email address. And typically it's the teacher's email there. But on the home page, that is actually down towards the bottom. This is my first assignment here. Do problems 1 through 10 on page 7. And they can click that and be taken directly to that homework upload portion. You can also just remove that enable homework upload for them just to see what's actually going on, date assigned, date due, things like that. Let's go back to class home. Okay, and the last one, or was that the last one? Oh, last one is blog. So let's go ahead and go to the blog. And blog is a lot like news. Let's go ahead and add a new blog posting. My first blog. Again, with the comment notification email. My first blog here. Oops. Okay, and just like with news, you can have, a published day and time. You can archive this at some point. Okay, my first blog. Okay, then down towards the bottom, it's my first blog. Now this looks a little messy, so we can configure this possibly. Let's show comment count. Mm, I think it might be how my current settings are set up for that. Okay, but that's essentially your classroom modules and how to configure them. Again, you have to actually go to these modules, and you saw I was kind of just let me duplicate this. You could just type in /news /events, blog. Um, Homework and projects a little bit trickier. Let me actually go to that. So it's homework instead of just homework and projects, or assignments is just assignment, I believe, or assignments. Okay, but essentially, you'll have to, for these modularized ones, you'll have to actually edit their source or where they're pulling from for you to actually populate this. Okay, so yep, that's just about the end of this video here. Feel free to watch the rest of the videos or even the video about slideshows or the text editor. Um, and then, yeah, as always, if you have any questions, get in contact with us or talk to your admin or your IT department. They'll likely have some information or some tips and tricks to help you out as well. Okay, have a great day.